everyone, this is Sherry at Soul Conscious Tarot, and of course this is our weekly soul weather forecast where we see what's going to be in the energy for this upcoming week, what we might be dealing with, experiencing. It's at the collective at large level, so this is a very general reading for everyone out there, so take what resonates and leave the rest, because we're all in different places at different time. So this is what it calls for you to use your discernment and decide if this reading is for you or not. So thank you once again for joining me. Let's see what we have for us this week. One of the things, okay, it wants two cards. One of the things you're going to notice in this reading, Spirit called for me to use decks I have not used in a very long time, or I rarely have used, either have not used at all, rarely have used. And there's a reason for that. There's two things that I want to bring up before we dive in too deeply. Oh my gosh, there's three cards. Okay, well, this is interesting. And I was going to read from the book, but this is interesting that so much. This is the deck that I was really pulled to use, which is the Mystical Wisdom card Oracle deck. And I don't know if I've ever used this deck at all in a reading. If I have, it's only been one other time. And this weekend, when this video is released, is Symbolic Weekend. For those of us that are pagan or in that community, would know what Symbolic is. Maybe not everyone else does, but basically it's all it is a celebration of the light. This is the weekend when we celebrate the end of the dark days, that we're moving out of the days where the things are going to be, when the time of year when days are shorter and the weather is colder, darker. So it's that celebration of the light, of the coming light, of the summer, of the spring, of renewal, of, it's kind of that celebration. It's typically a celebration of light. You're celebrating the coming light that is to come here soon, where days will be longer and we'll be able to, there's this new renewal, rebirth. And I really love this. I keep getting drawn to this center card, choices. And it says choices, make the best choices. But I love how much on this card there is, how much light and bright and like rainbow feel. There's like this hope, this, like there's blossoming flowers. It's like really, really giving me this kind of spring renewal vibe. And, with this, I am going to go ahead and probably try and read these out of the book, because I did want to do that, even though there are three here and it might take a little bit longer. But I want to make sure that I'm getting whatever messages need to come through. But this is giving me a very 10 of Cups vibe off of this. It could be even a 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups is about choices, options. But also those choices, when we have too many choices, it can lead to confusion of to what choice to make when we have too many things in front of us, which is why it has on here, make the best choice. So this really is kind of almost a 7 of Cups vibe. And then we have here that came out, the Angel of Miracles, open your heart and expect a miracle. And then children, know that your children are protected. This will be interesting. It's interesting how these are embraced in this flower. Like but it's like, it's almost like giving me a sense, even though it's not a lotus flower, it's giving me this sense. It's actually interesting. I can't remember what these flowers are called, but I used to play with them all the time. I think these were, we used to make little dolls out of these. When I was little, I remember making dolls out of these type of flowers. And so it's funny that this, like, it's giving me almost a strength type vibe here, because it's almost like the taming of the beast that you see on a lot of the strength cards. But another thing that I wanted to bring out, and we'll see if it comes up in the reading, but before I sat down here to do this reading, I was feeling this sense of like there's maybe like a hesitancy. There's something, an area in our lives that we might be hesitant to do something about, that we're kind of dragging our feet, procrastinating, dragging our feet. It's something we know we need to do. And I feel like it's either something we know we need to do for our betterment, or it's something we know we need, well, it's for our betterment regardless, but it's either where we've drug our feet and not accomplished something that needs to be accomplished, or we've drug our feet releasing something, getting rid of something out of our life that's no longer serving us. It's really giving me this vibe that there's this, I was really feeling this strong feeling of hesitancy to do something, like being a little bit afraid to make the choice that maybe needs to be made, that needs to be made. So let's see here. We'll read choices first. So that looks like it's on page 18. So that's 9. So that's a very single, that's a kind of an independent vibe. So choices, human nature comes with the greatest responsibility, free will, to make the choices and to accept the consequences of one's actions, words, and thoughts. Everyone makes the choice to accept situations as they are or take the responsibility to change them. This is absolutely true. Oh my gosh, that's perfect for what I was just saying. This is making the choice, by not doing something. This is really talking about that hesitancy, that by not taking action or not doing something, then you're accepting that, that into your life. You're taking, you're accepting that situation for what it is, because you're not making the effort to change it. So by not taking action, you're accepting it. That's exactly what this is saying. We all have the free will to make changes in our life. And if we choose not to make changes in our life, if we choose the path of least resistance and say, you know what, I like where I'm at. I don't want to do the work. I don't want to change. I don't want to be better. You're accepting that, and you have to accept the consequences, good or bad, for the choices you make. Because if you're not happy where you are, the only one that can fix that is you. So if you're not taking, as a person, individual, if you don't like something in your life and you're not changing it, well, then who's going to change it? How's it going to change? Usually the only other way is if the universe steps in and says, okay, you had your chance to have free will and do things your own way, but since you're not doing what you need to do, we might have to put a tower moment on your behind and then force you to move in a direction that you need to move, because you're not wanting to. You had your chance of free will to take the actions that you wanted to take to move in the direction you wanted to go. But now, because you've hesitated, you're either accepting your situation for what it is, or you're allowing the universe to dictate and control what action, or not actions, but dictate what's going to happen in your life. You're basically when you're not taking action and you're not taking responsibility over your own life, you're giving up your free will and letting the universe just randomly decide for you what your fate is going to be, if that makes sense. So it's in your best interest, or our best interest as a collective, as an individual person. And that's that 9 energy, a very individual energy. It's in our best interest to use our free will to our benefit, to use it to create the life that we want, take charge of our own destiny, of our own life, and move in the direction that we want. make the decisions that are best for you, and you will never be able to make the decisions that are best for you, as you'll never be able to please everyone. Choose your actions based on your own personal values. Regret nothing. I love that. Regret nothing. And that's one of the things that I learned at a very, very, very young age. And I'm so glad that it was something that a value that I actually, took on early in life is take action. I always take actions in my life in a way that I'll never regret the choices that I've made, because I have always chose them. I have always put in the action to try and make my life. I've made those choices and decisions, and I've owned them. So therefore I don't have regrets, because I've chose to own the decisions that I've made in my life. And that's a very, very important thing, and then it says your choice determines the consequences. Totally, totally true. There's a mantra here. It says, I take responsibility for my choices. And everything I said is very applicable here. And I really, really hope, that was a very strong message. I don't even know if we're going to get into the tarot, because that was really, I don't even know why you have 3 cards here, but we'll see why that is, because I feel like that was such a strong message, and it tied in with the sense of hesitancy to do something, that it was coming through very, very strongly for me before I even started this reading. And then we have the Angel of Miracles. Open your heart and expect a miracle. Angels shine a divine light of intelligence made of the highest and the purest of the Holy Spirit. Angels bestow gifts and miracles upon you, appearing in many forms: a bird, a butterfly, an animal in the brightest. And oh, this is so funny. Appearing in many forms: a bird, a butterfly, an animal, or the brightest and only flower in the blossom. When coincidence, synchronicities, and miracles start to happen in your life, you know that the angels are with you. The angels also assist and guide you during life changes or challenges. So this is just saying, hey, we're here. The universe is saying, hey, we're here to support the decision that you want to make. But you have to make, we as a person, as an individual, need to make the best choices for us, as it said, based on our values, based on what we consider to be our happiness, what we want for ourselves. Once we make that decision, this is in the essence, the process of co-creating with the universe, or co-creating with spirit, is by using your free will and making the choices that we want to see in our life, and making the change we want to see in our life. We're telling the universe what we want, what we value, what we prioritize, by making that change, making that choice. And the universe is here to help support that, to help bring in those blessings, those miracles, and it'll give you signs that you're on the right track. I know I have been getting tons of, I would say since like maybe November, December, I have been getting tons of number synchronicities that pop up everywhere I turn. And I get songs, downloads, I get all kinds of things that come in. And this is what the universe is saying. It's kind of saying, hey, if you're looking, if you're aware and you're looking, you're going to see signs that we're here, and we're here to support whatever decision and choice that you may make. Okay. So let's go ahead and read the children card here. This is short, so it'll be a little bit quicker than the rest. All parents, parents' first and foremost responsibility is to keep their children safe from harm. The angels want to reassure you that all is well. Your children in heaven on earth are loved and protected by God and the angels. Your children function at their best when they are loved, cherished, and feel secure within their home and family environment. So, this is just support. It's funny that these came in, these cards came in on either side of this card, because it really is saying that the universe has your back on the decision that you make, whether that is a non-decision or not. But understand that the universe is here to support whatever you do, whether that is to not make a choice and stay where you are, because they're still going to support you in that, because we do have free will as humans and individuals. We have free will to choose whatever path we want to take in life. The universe always supports us in that choice, that decision. Even if it's when we hesitate and we don't make a decision, the universe still supports us in that decision because we have free will. And that's what this is. It's like coddled, the support is all around us. This is what it's saying. There's support all around us at this time to help us, bring in, usher in whatever choices we make for our lives. That's why I was getting like a 10 of cups vibe, because 10 of cups is usually, for me, it's like what we dream our life to be, what we want to happen. It's our hopes and dreams, the things that we want to embody in our life. It comes after the 9 of cups, which is 9 of cups can be a wish fulfillment of what we consider our 10 of cups, our everything, or what we want for our lives. So now we'll get an emoji card. This is this reading is taking on a whole different format than I normally do for this reading, but the universe is the one that lead for these readings. They're the ones that read. This is, I think, the 3rd week in a row that this emoji card has come out. And I hate to say it, but I'm almost a little bit hesitant because this came out, because I know the last couple weeks for me have been a bit trying. I have had so much going, so much just, I don't even know. It's not been bad. It's just been like a lot. Like the last couple weeks have been a lot, and I feel like I was pulled in lots of different directions. There's lots of things that, put a lot on my plate that I had to think about. And it has been very gloomy, but it's interesting because this person's like, okay, I'm tired of the gloom. I'm tired of the gloomy weather. I'm tired of being in my head. I'm tired of trying to make these decisions from a place like a head space versus heart space. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? It's like almost this contemplation of where am I going? What am I doing? And it's like almost like it's weird because it's giving me a feeling of almost beating ourselves up, especially if you have been hesitant in making a decision or making a choice or taking action in a direction that you need to take, or releasing something like moving on from a bad habit or something like that, and you've been dragging your feet on it. It's contemplating and realizing that you're dragging your feet on something, and that you're dragging your feet on doing something you should be doing. And that's kind of what's coming through with this emoji card. It's coming through strongly, that reflection and almost beating ourselves up feeling of why are we, why did we do that? It's that regret, it's kind of that regret. And we had the choices card that says regret nothing, and here we are in this energy of regret. It's saying, make the choices that are best for you, and don't worry about whether you make, if you make somebody unhappy because of the choice that you make. What, when it comes down to it, when push comes to shove, it's your life. It's not their life. They can choose to live their life. Anyone else in the world can choose to live their life, even if it's family, even if it's, family, friends, whatever. They get to choose what life they want to live for themselves and what they want. They get to paint the picture. This is giving me I just thought Bob Ross feeling of painting a picture. They get to paint the picture that they want for their life. They get to make the choices they want for their life so that their life unfolds the way that they want to make it unfold based on the choices they're making. And we get, as individuals, personally have that free will to make those choices. So why would we turn that power over to other people and let them dictate what's best for us. By if we decide, okay, well, because this person, my family or my friends don't like this person I'm dating, maybe I'm not going to say anything, or maybe I'll end that relationship because it's going to be hard on me. Or a job, maybe they don't like a job that you're doing, and they're saying, why are you doing things this way, or why are you letting someone treat you that way? And if you're hearing this kind of talk from people around you, that's not supportive talk. They're not, unfortunately, they're not really supporting you in the way that they should. And it's because they value, and what they value differs from what you value. And so you can't let someone, because they feel that way about something, doesn't mean you do, and it doesn't mean letting them control your life, because you're turning your power over to them when you say, okay, well, maybe I should listen to them. Maybe I should take their advice. Maybe it would be easier if I just, didn't do this, because it'll ruffle some feathers of people that I know, because they won't like the choice that I made, even though it might be a choice that would be happy for you. So why would we as a person turn our power over to someone else? I know this is something that's been very hard for a lot of people personally in my life and my family, is I've never been, I've always tried not to let other people slant, or how do I want to put it, make my bias, help skew my decision one way or another. I try to follow my heart and what's right for me, regardless of whether someone else likes or doesn't like that decision. Because in the end, I'm the one that has to live with that decision. I'm the one that has to live that life. They're not the ones that have to live it. So I have to do what's best for me based on my personal individual values. And that's what this is calling for strongly, is at your core, make the choices that are best for you, regardless of if someone else around you does not like the choices that you decide to make. It's having the strength. I said this gave me a very strong vibe of a strength, of like the strength card, having the strength to make your own choices and stand with conviction in the choices that you make, and know that even if the people around you, in your physical reality, your friends and family in your physical reality don't have your back, the universe is here to say, we have your back, and whatever decision you make, we want you to be happy. Because the universe, spirit, the angels, this, spirit has our best interest at heart. They have true, I wish I had my water here. My throat's getting dry. They have true unconditional love for you, and when someone has unconditional love, that means they will support you in whatever decision you make, regardless of whether it impacts them personally or not. It's like, and this is something that I've had a few people in my life have difficulty understanding, um, because I have made choices that have, or they have made choices that I don't agree with, but I still support them. I still love them, and I support them in their decisions, because I've always expressed, I try to walk the best that I can. I try to provide unconditional love to the people in my life. I don't get butthurt by a decision or a choice someone made. Yeah, it could affect me, and yes, I could have emotions over it, but I also understand that they have to do, ultimately, it's their life, and they have to do what's best for them. I don't have to like it. They have to like it. And that's kind of what's coming through here, is that we have to be okay with maybe making people around us upset. Don't hesitate or not make choices to make your life better, or to move in a direction that would make you happy because of maybe hurting people around you. Because then you're letting them. I hope that message is coming through. I feel like I've gone way over and beyond what I should on that. It's come through. I mean, I feel like I almost beat a dead horse there, but it's a very strong message. This is the Healing Light Tarot. Oh my gosh, there's so many cards here. You just want to no, it wants this order. Thank you. So this order, this reading is completely different than anything format I've done. It's really just doing its own thing here. So we're just going to fly with it. So we have the Page of Swords, we have the Knight of Wands, the Star card, and then the Five of Swords here. So this is really telling me we've got pages are you know, pages are a very immature energy. They're an energy of someone that doesn't really exactly know what they're doing. They're learning. They're still in the process of learning to embody the essence of that energy as it would be in a king or a queen energy. They haven't leveled up yet. They don't have a lot of experience. So this is saying, you know, it's kind of like that uncertainty because of the unknown is what I get here. It's with it being sword energy, and especially with the Five of Swords being here as well, it's giving me this, you know, like having difficulty in making a choice of what is best for us. Not having complete clarity, because the Five of Swords can be kind of a self-sabotagey kind of card, because and luckily it's just a temporary energy, but it's kind of can be that mental conflict. It's like where we're at odds with ourselves over a decision, and that, you know, kind of that needs to be made. Like when the decision is kind of, we're battling against it. We're battling against the choice that we need to make, the decision we need to make, the action we need to take, because this is mental energy. So it's like we're battling in our own head about doing something, making it. It's like that kind of weighing the pros and cons. It can be that kind of energy of weighing, like kind of weighing the pros and cons. That's why, like, Two of Swords, it's like, you know, it's not really wanting to make a choice because you're unclear on the decision that needs to be made. So like I said, Swords is kind of this very mentally energy, but I love that we have the butterfly here, because it's talking that something's changing. You know, there's this change coming in, and he's sitting here looking at the sword, and this is with the, I'm feeling this is like the Sword of Truth, you know, from the Ace of Swords, where it's like there's this choice that will lead to the change, and we're almost like trying to identify, you know, the choice that needs to be made. But we're ready. I like the fact that with this being Swords energy too, with it being it's like this, just like wanting, I'm sorry, I'm really getting, it's really that hesitancy, because it's like he's looking at the sword, but this is not a knight energy. I'm thinking about it. 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 But not taking action. But then we have the Knight of Wands. What is the Knight of Wands? He is someone that is taking action, but very impulsively. This is a knight that doesn't always make the best choices, because sometimes it's just like, it's like, this can be the F it attitude, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to rush in and do it without thinking it through, you know. But one thing that's nice about the Knight of Wands is that also it is very action oriented, and it's usually action that is taken out of passion or a desire to do something. It's like that strength, that push, the push that we need, the momentum, the push that we need to go do it, the courage. It's like that courage, burst of strength and courage. And that's why it can be very impulsive, because it's like you get up the courage and say, oh, just F it, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to that's this kind of energy. It's like and so this is good. I like this in this reading, because this tells me that once a choice or a decision is made, it's going to be that kind of attitude of just F it, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go after what it is I want. Okay? But this is talking about, it's going to come after, this action is going to come after a long hesitancy of wanting to make that decision. But finally, it's just going to be like, F it, I need to do it. And we're going to, because this is important to me. It's something that I need to do. I need to make this change in my life. So F it, I'm just going to do it. Even though I might question my decision later, because I've done it on an impulse. That's what this is saying. If you look at these cards, that's what they're telling me, is I'm going to sit here and contemplate and think about this decision. I'm not taking action. I don't want to make this choice. I don't want to do anything. And then we're going to get at this point where we're just, I got to do it. I just got to do it. And then you just, you get that burst of energy that comes from that wand, passionate energy, to just get that momentum to just do it and go after what it is we know we need to do, that is important to us, that we need to get done, that we need to change in our life. Whether that be, like I said, either taking on something new because it's something because we want to make a change, a shift, or it's like releasing something and saying, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. I need to stop doing this. So it's either stopping something or it's bringing in something new. It's going to be different for different people. And then it's going to be like, even though we may, be a little bit hesitant, like after we've made this decision, we might be a little like up in our head about the decision we made. And that always happens, when we take action impulsively. Of course, we're going to be up in our head a little bit about it, because we don't, until the dust settles, we're going to we're going to be a little anxious. We're going to be a little bit uptight. We're going to be a little bit unsure whether the decision we made was the best one, because we've probably ruffled some feathers in making that change. When we make change in our lives, it does affect people around us. It does. And you can't help that. It's going to affect people, especially depending on the choice that you make, because we as a person, a choice we make it's going to change how we approach life. So it could impact, how much time we have available to spend time with people, or it could impact the fact that maybe I can't hang out with these people anymore, because now I don't really have an interest in that anymore. I'm moving in a different direction. I need to go somewhere else, and you may leave people behind, or you may ruffle some feathers, because the way we have been doing things up until now is changing. There's a shift going on, or will be going on. And I see this coming with the spring. I'm really getting a very spring vibe. Like I'm feeling March and April is going to be significant. But this is starting now. This is where there's something that we know in our lives that we need to move. There's a direction we need to move, or something we need to change. And I think everybody knows, anybody that's watching this reading knows there's something that needs to change in your life. There's something that you've been going round and round and round and round that you need to do. Whether that, whatever that thing is that you need to do that you've been putting off, this is the universe saying it's time to really, think about taking action on that. And if you don't take action soon enough, you may get a push in that direction to do it. Because the universe is definitely here to support that. It's ready for you to make that shift. But we do have free will. So we have the free will. I had another deck here to use as clarification, but I really don't feel like there needs, I think I've beat a dead horse. I feel like, I've put a lot out on the table here. This wasn't meant to be kind of lecture-y in a sense. I hope that it didn't give off too much of that vibe, but I'm really feeling like that's a message that wanted to come through strongly. Is I feel like there are people out there that may be watching these readings that right now they may be not making a decision in their life that's really would make them happy. They're not making that decision because they're not wanting to ruffle feathers of other people in their life. So it's like they're giving up their happiness. They're giving up what they value, based on wanting to make others around them happy. Even though it's not suiting them, it's not really making them happy. So if you're a person and that's resonating with you, where you feel like there's, like you're maybe making choices that are making other people happy instead of yourself, that's that hesitancy of doing what is best for you, even though, it really is sacrificing your own happiness for others' happiness. And we don't want to do that because we only have this one life to live. And our lives are short. As humans, our lives are short. We're just a blip, it's just a blip, a short time we're here. So there's no need to be a martyr. There's no need to tiptoe around and make other people happy in your life, because it's your life. It's your experience. You're here as a human you're here as a soul in a meat suit to have a human experience. And it's your personal experience, and you get to choose what that personal experience is. And if you want your personal experience to be being a martyr and sacrificing your own happiness for other people, hey, the universe is saying, hey, we got your back. If that's what you want to do, so be it. We'll support you. If you decide you want to go after what it is that makes you happy, that what in your heart and soul would make you happy, and even if it upsets people around you, we got you. The universe is saying, we got you, whatever decision you make. It's your choice. It's our choice to choose what picture we want to paint in our lives. Then the universe is going to be here, unconditional love, to support us regardless of the choice that we make. But it's in our best interest to make the best choices for ourselves, not for others, but for ourselves. As that said for that, when I read the blurb from the book on that card. And with the star coming out here, I mean, this is saying, this is something, this is really our true destiny, like what we really want for our lives. This is like the pentacle of hope. This is what we like. Oh, I wish I could have this. I wish I could dream this, or live this, or have this in my life, But what steps and what actions are you taking to make that happen? Are you choosing and making choices that are best for you to achieve this, or to get, this outcome of the star of what it is you wish and dream and hope for? Are you making those choices that align with that? Are you taking the action that you need to take to move toward this star energy? Or are you sitting in hesitancy and not wanting to make a decision, not wanting to move, because it'll make everyone around you happier? It really is. That's something each individual person is going to have to decide. I'm just reading the energy and what's wanting to come through of what people might be struggling with, and here to kind of give that advice of the universe has got our back regardless of our choice. But do we want to make our choices in our life based on what what someone else perceives as happiness or the right choice, or do we want to make a choice based on what's right for us as an individual personally? And maybe the choice is that you're happier when everyone else around you is happier. Maybe you really are happier that way. But if you really were happy, there would not be this desire, this deep desire. I've got to stop doing these readings at this time of day. I always hit that. The cat feeder always goes off. So it really is about, if you were really happy, be honest with yourself, because this can be, I told you this is a sort of truth, and you're looking at it. Are you really being honest with yourself? And only you know that as an individual. Only you know if you're really being honest with yourself when you say you're happy where you are. That you're happy and content with the life that you're living. Are you really? And that's what this is saying. Are you really happy? Because by not taking action and just staying where you are and maybe making other people happy, that may not be your truth. Because if you're not happy, if you're really not happy, you're the only one to blame for that, because you're not making the choices in your life to make yourself happy, to go after what makes you happy, regardless of how it impacts others in your life. And yes, I mean, if you have children, if you have young children, there's certain things that have to play into that consideration, all that is saying, yeah, that could cause some delays, because if you have children, with the children card coming out here, that you have children you have to take care of or provide for, yes, your choices may be limited, and yes, you have to take in consideration their well-being and happiness in the decisions that you make. But you can still move, even if it's slow, you can move toward, like, instead of impulsive action like this Knight that's coming out, you could move more of in a Knight of Pentacles action, or energy, where you're making more sound judgments that's slowly moving toward what it is that you want, by making small changes, small choices that won't maybe shake up your entire life. So, I mean, I understand that you do have to take in, we all have to take in consideration other people in our lives and how it may impact them. But there's always a choice that can be made. There's always an adjustment that can be made. Because I hate to say it, and I probably might get a little pushback on this, but if you're not happy, even if you have kids, if you're not happy, that your kids are going to see that. And it's going to that unhappiness within you. It is going to affect the way you are raising your children, and your children will see that unhappiness in you, and it's something that will you're kind of in a unintentional way, you may be influencing the way they look at life by the actions they're seeing you take. Even if that's like, okay, I see my mom or dad sacrificing their happiness for others. And so they therefore may grow up to say, this is what I need to do in my life, because this is what I've been taught, this is what I've been shown, that it's important for me to sacrifice my happiness for others. And so therefore they do it, even though, it's not, and then they may end up living a somewhat unhappy life as well. They may not be happy because they've been taught from an example of their parents that that's the way life's supposed to be, that we're supposed to sacrifice our happiness for others. So that's what it's like. This is what's coming through here strongly, is like, we have to be conscious that the way we walk in the world, it does affect others, but are we really affecting others positively or negatively? Are we really doing everyone a favor and doing everyone good by not making the choices and decisions that ultimately will lead to our own happiness? Because the only person that's really impacting is us as an individual in our own personal happiness. So I know it's very hard because it goes against a lot of what we've been taught. Many of us have been taught, especially my generation. And it's very hard to get, to want to be selfish. And I know that's what it's calling. In essence, it's almost saying we need to be a little more selfish. But if people around us truly love us and have that unconditional love like Spirit does, they'll support us no matter what decision we make. No matter if it's hard for them to see us make that change. But if they really love us and support us, they'll know we're doing it for our own happiness, and they'll support us in that decision, because they'll know that it has nothing to do with them. They won't take it personally because they know it has nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. I know this is a very, very deep topic, and this is laying a lot on. I didn't mean for I didn't want. I hate when the topics are this heavy, but when they're this heavy, it's a very important message that's coming through from Spirit. Because I think that there are too many people right now struggling that have really, they're looking at life and they're miserable in their lives, or they're unhappy in their lives. And the reason they're unhappy in their lives is because they've made choices based on making the people happy around them, instead of making choices for their own happiness, for what would really truly make them happy. And when we're not happy, we're not going to be happy. We're not going to really make people around us happy, even though we're trying to make them happy. When we're not happy, we can't make others happy. Even though we may try, there's still going to be a rub, because that unhappiness within us is going to show. Only when we're happy and really happy and content within ourselves and the choices that we've made, are we really going to, those people around us are going to see that and feel it. That's why when you see somebody glow up, like what they're talking about, that's a big buzzword now, glow up, having a glow up. What a glow up is, honestly, all a glow up is saying, oh, hey, I'm seeing someone who is being true to themselves. They're shining and they're glowing. Why are they shining and glowing? Because they're really fulfilled and they're really happy within, because they've done the work. They've made the choices in their lives to make themselves happy, to follow their heart, to do what makes them happy, to make their life the best life that they could make for themselves. And by doing that, people see that, and that's what causes that glow up is people, they kind of, in that it can cause envy and jealousy in other people that aren't making the choices in their life to go after and do the things that they want to do for themselves. They see somebody else doing it and it makes them jealous, because they're like, because they're not doing it. So if you're one of those people and you're feeling that jealousy and you're feeling that envy of other people around you, that's the universe's way of, in your subconscious way, or your soul's way of telling you, well, you could have that too. You could have that happiness too, if you make the choices, if you choose to make the choices to go after what makes you happy and what makes you fulfilled. But it also means requiring knowing what that happiness and what, doing the work of figuring out what makes you happy and what makes you fulfilled. Because maybe up until this point, you've made your decisions based on making other people happy instead of yourself. And so, like, what you thought made you happy maybe really doesn't make you happy. And that's what that's what I'm getting here, is like finding your truth, understanding what really does make you, what is your star? What is it that really would make you happy and fulfilled in your life? If you had that thing, or if you had a life, what's the life that you would paint for yourself? And then how can you achieve it? Even if it ruffles some feathers of people around you. Are you making decisions and choices to go after that? Okay, I need to get off. I feel like I've talked and way too much, more than I wanted to do for this video. And I think the point has been hammered home. The Spirit, thank you. I know you're wanting me to hammer this point home. I hope that readers have got the point at this point, and I hope that it didn't scare many people away, because I know this has been a very heavy message that's come through. It's a very important message, so it's not going to be all glitz and shine. It's not a quick one. So thank you if you held out this long, because I feel like, gosh, lately I've been so soapboxy, and I don't like that I've been very soapboxy. I'm very preachy. I don't like that. I don't like feeling very preachy, but it's been kind of happening lately in a lot of different areas. It's like shaking and waking people up. So thank you if you stayed on this long. I appreciate you greatly if you did. Thank you so much. For everyone out there, any interaction you do with my channel, liking, subscribing, and leaving comments, of course, helps my channel, because it helps it grow and helps my videos get out there. So thank you so much for all those people that do take the initiative and interact with my videos. I thank you and appreciate you so, so very much. I wish you the very best this week. Harmony and gratitude to you.